So, the Bills defeat the Miami Dolphins 34-31. My Super Bowl pick is still alive. By the way, I picked the Bills and the Eagles to meet in the Super Bowl. Just FYI, that's my pick. I'm going to stick with it. I predict that the Bills will get past the Chiefs finally and move on to the Super Bowl. Who I think would win between the Bills and the Eagles, I don't know. It's a toss-up. Good game. I would say probably the most entertaining game that I've seen so far. Bills did what the Bills do, which is have Josh Allen throw the ball 1,000 times and run the ball like 7 times. They came out hot. Receivers finding soft spots in the zones, and Josh Allen was immediately in a rhythm, hitting Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, and they were just attacking the middle of the field on this Miami Dolphins defense. And they made the Dolphins pay a couple times when they blitzed. They like to take chances when they play defense. They'll send the whole house at you and have their corners play off, or sometimes play man-to-man. They didn't really do that in this game because the Bills wide receivers are so talented. I think they're missing one of their key cornerbacks. Yeah, they're missing one. All in all, the Bills jumped out on them real quick. The Dolphins were able to sack Josh Allen. Jerome Baker got a sack on Josh Allen for a 70-yard loss, and it was 3rd and 15. The Bills brought the house. Stephon Diggs runs past Xavier Howard, and Josh Allen hits a beautiful 52-yard pass to Stephon Diggs, which would eventually put them in the red zone, and he throws a absolute laser to Dawson Knox on the right side of the end zone, in the back of the end zone, putting them up 7-0. Then on the Dolphins possession, Skylar Thompson, the quarterback who played for Ty Tuivasa, was intercepted by Dean Marlowe, and it looked like he had Tyreek Hill for a pretty nice completion out of the play action, but Dean Marlowe was able to kind of come out of nowhere. He was able to get lost in all the bodies that was in front of Tyreek Hill, and then made a play on the ball, which put Buffalo in pretty good field position, and eventually they were able to score on a 12-yard touchdown run by James Cook. So it's 14-0. In the second quarter, they made it 17-0. Now I watched this game in condensed version, and it looked like Josh Allen had another touchdown to Dawson Knox, but it was overturned because I'm assuming he dropped it. So it's 17-0, but Miami starts to make their comeback, and the Buffalo Bills cool off a little bit. I like that Miami was, even though Ty Tuivasa wasn't playing, the backup Skylar Thompson, they still stuck with their game plan in taking shots down the field, trying to hurt Buffalo and take chances, which you have to. And that's what this offense has been predicated on all season long. You got guys like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. So they took some chances down the field, but unfortunately they were not able to capitalize on all of their opportunities that was given to them. Jalen Waddle, he had 3 chances to make some big plays down the field. His first opportunity to make a big play, they hit him in the hands, and he had to make a acrobatic catch to get it, but he wasn't able to secure it. The second play that was dialed up for him, the ball was a bit underthrown, and he was covered by Tre'Davious White. Good coverage by White, but Jalen still wasn't able to get his hands on the ball. And then the third time, the ball was it wasn't the best accurate pass in the world, I thought, but he still was able to have a chance at it, and he wasn't able to cash in on it. And so Jalen Waddle has already made a name for himself in the league. He's definitely made a name for himself on the Miami Dolphins as being one of their big playmakers. And in the playoffs, you need your stars to step up. And I felt that Jalen didn't do that. If the Miami Dolphins were to look back on this game, I would say opportunities like that they weren't able to cash in on. They weren't able to cash in most of their opportunities. After the first quarter, when the Bills jumped out on them, they were able to get some turnovers. They blitzed Josh Allen, got the fumble. They were able to turn it into points. They were able to get some key interceptions off of Josh. At one point, they even tied the game and even took the lead 24-20. But after that, Miami just couldn't do anything. Skylar Thompson had a throw in the middle of the field. It would have been a ridiculous catch. And Trayvon Edmonds is in the throwing lane trying to make a play on the ball. And Mike Gesicki's got a DB behind him, and he throws an absolute laser. But Gesicki, who has pretty good hands, wasn't able to secure it. And I don't know if he wasn't able to see the ball because Trayvon Edmonds was right in front of him trying to make a play. And the way this game was going back and forth, both teams were taking chances, trying to hit each other with haymakers, offensively and defensively. Every time the Bills blitzed, I think they really missed Von Miller in this game, and that kind of worries me because they weren't really able to get pressure on Miami unless they were able to blitz. They seem to have more effect on Skylar Thompson when they had their linebackers crash the line of scrimmage. And the Dolphins, vice versa, were bringing pressure. The Dolphins, they like to bring pressure anyway. So, this definitely was a entertaining game. Both teams going back and forth, taking chances against each other. Skylar Thompson, 18 for 45, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs. They didn't really run the ball enough. Jeff Wilson only had 10 rushing attempts, 23 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Skylar, not the best performance, but I thought that, really both teams didn't really run the ball. But of course, the Bills, they're going to hardly run the ball anyway. But the Dolphins should have tried to protect Skylar a bit more by putting the ball in the running back's hands. And the Dolphins, they need a bona fide running back anyway. They got to find somebody to lean on in the running game. Jalen Waddle, I didn't think played well. He didn't really step up like they needed him to. Tyreek Hill was targeted 15 times, had 7 receptions, 69 yards. I thought it was okay. He made the most of his opportunities when he got his chance. Mike Gesicki targeted 6 times, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Everyone else was pretty quiet. Felt as if they tried to force feed the balls to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And Mike Gesicki continues to be an afterthought in this offense. I still think he is an afterthought. I think he is a pretty good underrated tight end to have. And if you put him on a team like let's say Travis Kelce, for whatever reason, decides to leave and they get Mike Gesicki, I don't think the Chiefs have a huge drop-off at tight end. That's how good I think Gesicki is. Defensively for the Dolphins, Xavier Howard had 1 INT. He was targeted 10 times, gave up 6 completions for 92 yards, and he gave up a touchdown. Jerome Baker was targeted 7 times, gave up 5 completions, gave up 42 yards. Thought he was solid. I like Jerome Baker, another underrated player for the Dolphins. And I thought the rest of the defense did the best they could. They gave the Dolphins chances, and so I can't really fault them too much, even though they allowed Buffalo to jump on them so early. They fight and scratch their way back, created turnovers. Javon Holland, he had an INT, was targeted 4 times, gave up only 3 completions for 56 yards. Kadar Kahu was targeted 5 times, gave up 3 completions for 67 yards. I thought he was good, so I didn't think the defense for Miami was terrible. Shifting to Buffalo, Josh Allen, 23 for 39 yards. 23 for 39, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. He had 3 fumbles, but lost 1. A good, bad, and ugly performance for Josh Allen. In the beginning of the game, in his first drive, they're trying to convert a 4th down. It looked like he was trying to shovel it, or maybe he was trying to pump fake it to freeze up the defense, but he lost the ball. This guy continues to just do too much. It's not a Josh Allen game unless he's hurdling or running or trying to run through people. Just trying to do too much. So yeah, he had a good, bad, and ugly performance. Devin Singletary, only 10 rushing attempts, 48 yards. James Cook, only 12 rushing attempts, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. So they're hardly going to use their backs, even though they have a legitimate 2-headed monster now. I've always liked Devin Singletary. James Cook, he seems to be very agile and has a lot of speed. He's probably faster than Devin. Stephon Diggs was Stephon Diggs. 9 targets, 7 receptions, 114 yards. Gabriel Davis, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 113 yards. Khalil Shakir, only 5 targets, 3 receptions, 51 yards. Cole Beasley, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 35 yards, and 1 touchdown. Dawson Knox, only 5 targets, 3 receptions, 20 yards, but 1 touchdown. So Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis made the most noise in the passing game. Defensively for Buffalo, Tre'Davious White targeted 10 times, 5 completions, only gave up 59 yards. Teron Johnson was targeted 7 times, gave up 5 completions, 55 yards. Matt Milano, he had 2 sacks on the quarterback. Ed Oliver had a sack. Boogie Bashman had a sack as well. So this game was back and forth. Like I said, the Bills came out hot. Then they went cold. The Dolphins made plays to get themselves back into the game and give themselves a chance. I think the Dolphins, despite the fact that they didn't play with their starting quarterback, Tua, and they still had a chance to win this game. They even came back and took the lead at one point. I think that says a lot about this team, that they're probably going to be around. If they do things right, they're going to be around for a long time. And the Bills, they're my Super Bowl pick. But now, besides Josh Allen doing too much and of course, the coaching staff not doing a good job of protecting him, now I'm a little worried about the Von Miller injury, because I felt as if, yes, it was a huge blow. It's still a huge blow when you lose a guy like Von Miller. But when you have guys like Ed Oliver and Gregory Rousseau, who was pretty quiet in this game, that have shown that they can get after the quarterback. Okay, the only time that the Bills' pass rush came to life was when they blitzed. And they seem to have more effect when they blitz, when they brought the linebackers in to crash in at the line of scrimmage. And if Von Miller's there, they don't need to do that. But we'll see what happens going forward. I got 2 more games to do, and then we'll be on to the NFC divisional round. Or we'll be on to the NFL divisional round. So please like and subscribe. That is it. I am out.